Goldberg. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Goldberg may be coming back for Saudi Arabia because you know why? He may be having a special, maybe a specific deal for Saudi Arabia shows only. Plus, tonight on night 2 of the WWE Draft on Raw, tons of speculations coming in on stars that you would least expect making their way to the main roster. We're going to find out today in the top story. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! What's up, everyone? Jose G here and Jeremy Bennett on the top story. Normally, we are live on Facebook, but apparently there's been a nationwide and global outage on Facebook. So we are live on YouTube and on Twitter. If you normally are accustomed to watching us on Facebook, go ahead and hop on to our YouTube. Go ahead and give us that subscribe button and watch us over there because we got tons to jump into today. Before we get started, Jeremy, how was your weekend, broski?
Pretty good, man. Went to the Husker game. They whooped some butt. It was a pretty good game. Nice night, great evening, good temperatures and all that. And hopefully we can talk to our Facebook audience soon. It's back now, I guess. So I don't know.
It was back, but it's not connecting through StreamYard.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah. So
hopefully by the time the draft kicks in.
Hopefully. But go ahead and fire off your questions, sound off in the comments, guys. Engage with the show as always. We do have the Sportskeeda podcast available, so you guys can check us out on all of the audio form only. So you guys can go ahead and tune us in right over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got tons of content dropping daily over there. We got our live coverage from last Friday from night 1 of the WWE Draft. Tonight we're going to have a continuation of that with Kevin Kellum, Rick Cucino, and Jeremy Bennett going to be giving you guys in-depth analysis. And then later on, we got Vince Russo and Dr. Chris Featherstone giving you guys the recap of Monday Night Raw on Legion of Raw. So tons of stuff to get into. We can't start off the show without our third bro in here, Kevin Kellum.
What's up, guys? How are you? What's going on?
Doing good, man.
The world's coming to an end.
Facebook is down. There's no Facebook.
Facebook is down. Facebook's down. It's been down all day.
All day. About 10:30 this morning, my time.
The break. How much have you enjoyed the break from Facebook?
I've been working all day, so it really didn't affect
me. Same here. I really haven't been paying attention to Facebook because I've been working all day, man.
I work on Facebook. I do almost all of my work on Facebook.
Same here, but if I can't access Facebook, I can't work. So I got other stuff to do. But guys, let's jump into some of these stories because Goldberg is making headlines again today. What's going on with this story here, Jeremy?
We got obviously just reported a little while ago, or expected to be reported, that Goldberg and Bobby Lashley's second go-around is going to happen at Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is set to take place on October 21st in Saudi Arabia. Right now, of course, there was an earlier report about a month or two ago that stated that Goldberg only has 2 matches left in his deal in a contract that runs through 2023. But it has been reported on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio by Dave Meltzer that Goldberg has a specific deal just for the Saudi Arabia shows. So obviously, with the big scale that Saudi puts on there for their country to get the amount of money that's spent to get those shows, they obviously want some of the top stars and including the major legends that come back from time to time. And of course they want Goldberg. So Goldberg has his own deal with the Saudi shows here. Of course, we saw on last week's edition of Monday Night Raw, Goldberg in a pre-taped episode basically threatening murder on Bobby Lashley. So you
said that so casually.
Just basically threatening murder.
Yeah.
Well, you have assaulted my child, and I intend to revenge.
I'm gonna kill the soul out of you. I'm gonna beat the soul out of you.
I'm gonna hire Arn Anderson and pull a Glock on you.
Oh man, don't get me going.
Shoot your brains all over the place.
Oh,
that's just terrible. That's just
so ridiculous.
But 2 matches left in his deal, but they don't include Saudi. Of course, it is likely, Meltzer did mention it, it's likely he renegotiated his deal to fit in those Saudi shows. And who knows? I mean, with 2 matches left in 2023, there could be some more renegotiating as well if Goldberg feels good and the right story is there for him to portray. Because honestly, I'll tell you what. The Lashley match was one of his better matches. The ending was a little terrible, but overall it was one of the better matches. It was one of the lengthier matches that Goldberg had, and it's been a good story, especially with including Gage. So I think it's been the best that they've done with Goldberg in some time now, and so this might be the beginning of more renegotiations.
It makes sense, and the international crowd regards Goldberg as a big star. The word we've always heard on the Saudi shows is they want stars from a certain generation to always be a part of that show. It lines up. It makes sense. And obviously, if you're Goldberg and you be wrestling at this point in your 50s, still looks great. I'm never going to say he's the greatest wrestler in the world. I don't think many will, but the guy is an attraction. He is a star, and this is a big stage, and people want to go get paid. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. I mean, The Undertaker did it. I mean, I think it was the one-shot deal for The Undertaker. It was $5 million. To just go to Saudi.
$5 million.
I mean, if you're a guy that age, you're not going to say no to that amount of money.
Nope. Now imagine what people are making on the lower end.
Yeah.
So that makes it very. I mean, even if you're doing small stuff in those shows, you're probably getting some of the biggest paydays of your career to go do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think everyone understands, if you follow wrestling in past years, the controversy around doing these shows in Saudi Arabia, but the money is so outstanding, for people to do. So it's kind of where the split comes here. Jason Lewis, do you guys see like the Saudi show's personality? I think it's a waste of time. It's nothing but a house show. I don't think Lashley versus Goldberg is a house show. I don't think Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair in this rematch is a house show match.
There's nothing wrong with house shows. Some of the best matches that you get to see and the funnest matches are at house shows.
True. And I do think the idea that house shows are bad is just, I don't know where people got that idea.
I just don't think they've been good shows though. Overall, they haven't been interesting shows. They haven't been.
You're talking about the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view.
Yeah. The matches themselves have been a letdowns, especially with some of the matches that we got in the build up to what they were, and there were some circumstances to that, like the Taker and Goldberg thing with the humidity and all sorts of things. There's some circumstances, but
they've had some stinkers out there.
Yeah,
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, but overall, they just have not been interesting shows. But so far, with what they're leading to and what they've announced, this almost tells me that this might be the best Saudi show we're going to get in terms of the product. So,
and you get that tournament final too.
Yep. And I've
Both
never.
of them.
I'm actually going to take off work to watch this. I've never done that before on a Saudi show, so I'm going to take off work, and maybe Kevin and I and maybe Jose might do a little post show.
You guys at the Inside Cradle are going to have to postpone your show because it's going to be dead smack middle while you guys are recording Inside Cradle.
How many weeks is it? Is it this week or next week?
It's 21st. It's the 21st. The 21st in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. We got time.
So
we'll figure it out.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from Thursday.
We'll figure it out.
It's already 2 weeks. It's already the 4th of October.
We got some people on YouTube watching us. NWO Rory is saying, "Hey Jose, greetings to my friend. Please say hi to my dad." Hey Dad, hi Rory's dad. Thank you for tuning in and watching.
Hello, Rory's father. Do you also have do you have revenge that you want to commit for your son?
Mike in Brooklyn, send Goldberg to the retirement. And Kevin Kellum saying, "Hammer that like button."
I said it. I told him to do it.
Whoa, where'd he come from? It's like Inception.
Well, guys, we had an eventful night one on Friday Night SmackDown of the WWE Draft. Couple little swerves here and there. Jeremy and myself, we were live for 2+ hours, analyzing everything. Kevin Kellum's going to be taking my duty tonight, analyzing all the drafts from Raw. With that being said, there's some new speculations and talks and ramblings going on tonight's WWE Draft on Monday Night Raw. What's the scoop here, Jeremy?
Well, we got a couple of stories here. First off, let's start with the earlier news. WrestleVotes posted out a tweet here earlier in the morning stating that WWE has done a better job this go around of keeping the draft results wrapped up. So it really hasn't been anything that has been leaked or released for the most part. And so that is, and that has been kind of the case. We've been kind of, just stuck with speculation and things. We have not had that. But WrestleVotes are usually a very good a source for some insider news. They did post out a tweet here today that says that Raw, specifically, obviously Universal, NBC Universal, who owns Raw, they are banging the table, is the quote unquote, banged the table to get Finn Balor in Drew McIntyre's role. So if that's, remember how we talked on the draft, Jose, how I thought, with Drew and Lashley going to SmackDown, Big E is already one of the big chips that have moved over to Raw, and I said Seth Rollins might be that chip. Now, now it looks like maybe Finn Balor might be that other chip in the major male division swap, and maybe with that speculation, that might mean that Becky Lynch stays on SmackDown now, along with Finn Balor, along with Seth Rollins. So.
I mean, then that just solidifies that she's going to drop that title at Crown Jewel, right? If that's the case, I mean, because you can't have two brand champions on the same show.
Yeah.
So it's almost a far-gone conclusion. Either Becky is going to drop that title or she's moving to Raw. So we'll see what happens. But that's not the only one. The one that really caught my eye today is this Walter story, Jeremy. Because can you imagine Walter and Raw or SmackDown? Because I think this would be tremendous.
You saw Hit Row Records get drafted to SmackDown on Friday. I think your big faction to debut on Raw is going to be Imperium tonight. And PW Insider has noted there is talk from PW Insider. There is talk of having Walter be on the UK brand as of late. Of course, in the past, Walter has said he would rather not. We'd rather stay in the UK, but maybe a little bit of that might have persuaded him. There is speculation. He is in the United States. He has been in the United States since this weekend. So there is speculation that he will be involved on Monday Night Raw. Of course, we have not seen of him, or he's not wrestled since that absolute classic with Ilya Dragunov at TakeOver 36. Probably going to be your match of the year. Don't know if anything's going to top that, baby. I think this is the perfect time to bring Imperium up to Raw. I think they are more. The entire group is more than ready to be on that big stage.
It's a big move. It's a huge move by Walter to come up here. I mean, he was featured very briefly in that Survivor Series 2019 match where they were treating NXT like it was on the level of Raw and SmackDown. Obviously, I don't think it's treated that way anymore, but it's still it's in a transition phase back to being a bigger brand and everything they're doing. Walter coming up to Raw is the right move, I think, for him at least. He would be a real attraction. He has a very much an air about him, despite the 2 minutes he was in the ring with other people on the main roster. There is a lot you can do with this guy. There's a lot of magic. There's a lot of magic around him. And when you have magic around a character that isn't something you can describe, there isn't a specific word. Walter has that Brock Lesnar, Andre the Giant. Oh my God, look at this guy. Look at what he's going to do to somebody. And that
Walter
chop,
Keith Lee,
Walter
and Keith Lee. Oof.
That chop that people have not seen, that I'm talking the casual fan has not seen from this guy. I also think he's a very dynamic wrestler. He doesn't look like a lot of other wrestlers.
Yep.
He doesn't wrestle like a lot of other wrestlers. He's a throwback. I think he'd be appealing to older fans. I think he'd be very interesting to younger fans. And you need new monsters. You always need them. You always need them.
And I think Imperium have this special gimmick of the mat is sacred. They are professionals, and it's a gimmick that really does not exist anywhere else in WWE or really professional wrestling, so to speak. They've got something very unique, and they've got two talented guys that can add to the tag division in Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. And this is just, I think they've been long overdue for a main roster debut. I think it's just the fact that it's been held up by Walter not really wanting to leave the UK, but now maybe he is more receptive to it.
I completely agree with that, man. I just think that, Walter is, one of those once in a generation, in a lifetime type of athlete. He's that type of attraction. And just thinking of him being on the Monday Night Raw roster, matchups like Keith Lee, matchups like Brock Lesnar, even though he's a free agent.
Big E.
Imagine Big E versus Walter.
Be a lot of
there's
meat
a lot of
slapping.
match. Yes. If Braun Strowman was still in Monday Night Raw, imagine Braun Strowman and Walter. I mean, those are just a lot of big men slapping meat on the Red Brain guys.
Mike in Brooklyn here with quite the move, and I wouldn't disagree with this at all. We're talking about potential draft moves, NXT talent moving over to Raw and SmackDown night 2 of the draft. Mike in Brooklyn, saying, I think they might move MSK to the main roster. I wouldn't be opposed to that. They'd be a fun, exciting tag team. WWE needs some new tag teams. I think this makes complete sense, at least for the mainstream audience. There's so many more people watching Raw and SmackDown than NXT. This is what you do. This is what NXT is supposed to be. And so anyone who loves NXT and wonders, wow, don't move in there, don't move there. My thing is, well, does someone get to go to NXT now?
Yeah.
Does someone get to pop over at NXT next week who maybe is underutilized in other brands and stuff like that? That'd be interesting, and I would enjoy seeing that.
If they want to keep MSK babyface, I mean, they're starting to get booed. I mean, they've been for about a while now.
Booed.
They've been getting booed, and then you saw it on camera, like when they were posing in front of the fans, and there's a bunch of people giving the thumbs down, and they even talked about it in an interview earlier today as well that got released. Can't remember who did the interview with them, but Fightful posted an article on it regarding talking about the booze and such. And so if they want to maybe keep them a baby face, maybe they do bring them up, but I don't know. It was almost too soon, but they are talented. I mean, if you watch the Rascals at Impact, you already they were talented coming in.
Rascals, those little rascals.
Those little rascals.
Those little rascals. All right, I'm gonna have to get a lot of caffeine to do the stream tonight.
God.
I think I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need some.
You're gonna need some because there are 12 trivia questions ready to be answered.
You need to do this justice, Kevin, because on Friday night I was standing up on my feet for over 2 hours, bro. I got my whiteboard. I was pointing. I got the look that they were calling me Professor Jose.
Yeah, your teacher. Your teacher. How do I feel about Frankie Monet getting called up? I think the loss to Raquel Gonzalez might trigger that. And my God, if we could get a reboot of Worldwide Underground, which was a tremendous. This was a faction in
Lucha Underground, baby.
This was a faction in Lucha Underground with PJ Black, who was who was he? What was his name? Justin Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Gabriel in WWE. He was PJ Black. He still is now. PJ Black, Jack Evans, who you see now with Angelico in the Hardy Family office on AEW. It was those two guys, along with Frankie Monet, of course, was Taya Valkyrie, and Johnny Mundo, who is, of course, John Morrison. That was a tremendous faction in Lucha Underground, and I would love to see Frankie Monet get called up and join John and start a faction, because it's been long overdue to treat John Morrison seriously in the WWE instead of as a joke. So,
but he enjoys it.
Agree
Seems like he's having fun.
He does, yeah. But you can only get so far success-wise, though, by having fun. And maybe I think he wants to be a world champion, which is something he's never been on the WWE level, and something like
he's not going to be if he continues to be paired with The Miz.
Exactly. And a lot of people in the internet wrestling community thought that he was going to be one of those main eventer or have a title shot when he came a couple years ago, and that never happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He had that. I think it was against The Miz that they had that tremendous match it was the first Raw of the new year many years ago, and they just had this tremendous match. I thought that was the beginning of something bigger for him, but unfortunately it never was.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's it for today. For today's top story, guys, make sure you are following us and subscribing to the YouTube channel. We got tons of stuff dropping every single day. We also are going to be having our live watch along of tonight's WWE Draft of Night 2. Kevin Kellum, Jeremy Bennett, and Rick Cucino are going to be bringing you live analysis in real time. So it's real important that you guys hit that subscribe button and notification bell, so that way, as soon as they go live, you guys can show up and get your second screen experience on. You can watch Monday Night Raw, and you can have us on the phone while you guys are getting live analysis.
And hopefully on Facebook.
and hopefully on Facebook. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
guys.
I don't know.
We're
yeah,
trying to
we'll see if we-
figure that out, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
StreamYard, the software we use to connect and do simultaneous streaming, they're having the same type of issues that everyone's having in terms of just reconnecting and reconfiguring with Facebook today, just like everybody else. So we're trying to figure all that stuff out, and we appreciate your patience because we know a lot of people watch our stuff on Facebook too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Well, that's it, guys. So remember, when watching wrestling and the WWE Draft, you guys got to do one thing. What is it, guys? Tell them, guys. Tell them.
Jeremy, what do we do?
You enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
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 See?
Let me get drafted.